What's up, everybody? Welcome to Everything USA Prime, the podcast where we dive into people, stories, and culture that make USA Prime one of the fastest growing and most impactful baseball and softball organizations in the country. I am your host, Nick Swanson. Today, we got a really exciting guest, someone who we all believe is instrumental in growing Prime and building something special in Colorado. Um, there's a lot that we got going in store. We are going to be doing this hopefully every week, if not a couple times a month. So please let us welcome Scott Hormann. What's up, guys? We got Scott Hormann here, USA Prime Colorado. Scott, thanks for joining us today. I know you guys are coming off a huge win over there.
Yeah, great.
WWBA, right?
Yeah, great win down in Jupiter, Florida. We took a bunch of Colorado kids down there and got beat up our first game pretty bad. It was crazy and scratched and clawed our way back through pool play and made it into bracket as the 7 out of 8 seeds and beat the 2 seed and then went from there and just kept playing and kept throwing strikes. Didn't throw hard, but threw strikes and played great defense. And we had 4 out of the top 9 hitters in the tournament on our team, so we hit the ball really well for during the weekend. So it was a great weekend and just a great way to end our fall here in Colorado for our USA Prime teams.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and obviously I know you. I know some of our listeners don't. So if you want to go ahead, kind of say your role in Colorado, where we are, and kind of introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm the owner of the USA Prime Colorado here in beautiful state of Colorado. I grew up in Ohio and moved out here. I actually played college football, which is a little weird, but I was a true baseball love my whole life. I just had a college football scholarship and played college football. So, but as soon as I got here, I started coaching and playing and being around the game and fell in love with it and just love the state of Colorado and love the players we have here in Colorado, which those college coaches out there, man, are there some gems here in the state of Colorado that can play the game. We just don't get recruited quite enough. We have to travel an awful lot, hence going to Florida to play this past weekend. But some really great players here in the state, and loved my time so far with USA Prime, and continue to love everything I do with them.
Yeah, and going off the kind of where Colorado's at, like I feel like you guys have really turned kind of what it is in Michigan. We are now becoming heavily recruited.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a big part of that movement in Colorado, and I think it's really awesome that we could have this opportunity to bring USA Prime over to Colorado. And kind of with that being said, like what really drew you to start up USA Prime in Colorado?
Well, I had been doing baseball here since 2005. Actually, since 1999, I was coaching in 1999, coaching youth teams and traveling, and got to coach some great players that played professionally, that played for me when they were 14 years old, which was pretty amazing. But really, just what ended up happening is I started a thing called Colorado Chaos out here, and just like every other organization, did it myself, did everything myself, with a business partner. And to be honest, with that business partner was awesome and did a lot of things that I wasn't really good at. So it was great, and it was a lot of fun, and we grew it to about as about as big as we could grow it, right? Like just being us. And got a call from USA Prime and met John Frankel. From the minute I met him, I trusted him. I believed in what he was doing. And, for me, it was just a great opportunity to grow my organization. So that's really what it was. And it just really helped us grow in the state of Colorado and then have a national presence, along with, obviously you guys and all the other states that now have USA Prime. I actually was the first group out of the state of Texas to join USA Prime.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2019. So, and we've never looked back, and we've enjoyed it. Yes, bumps in the road, COVID, all those good things, right? Like all the things that businesses go through, but really, like, could not be where I'm at today without USA Prime Baseball.
Yeah, and obviously, there, everyone knows USA Prime nowadays, right? There's,
Yeah.
we got I basically a USA Prime in every state now, and I
Yeah,
think
pretty
in
much.
different ways, each one kind of brings its own, we'll call it flavor.
Yeah.
And I think we're all changing the baseball or softball landscape in our areas for the better. I truly believe that, and I know you're on the same page. So,
Absolutely.
where you have come from chaos over to where you are now, like what do you think has really changed as far as landscape goes?
Well, obviously, I think the cost of youth baseball has gone up. That's part of it. The tournament cost alone, it's insane. I was watching a video today, and a guy was talking how like some of the tournament fees for high school teams are now up into the $15,000 to $18,000 range, right? Like
Yeah.
we used to be able to play in a tournament for $500, right? Remember that
Mm-hmm.
back in the day? I mean,
Oh yeah.
um, and so it's just the landscape has just changed tremendously. The recruiting has changed tremendously, where it used to be phone calls and then they'd come and watch you. I had a young man named Casey Opitz who played for me that, back in the day where Arkansas was recruiting him, they sent their assistant coach out, who is actually now the head coach at Tennessee, to watch him practice. You don't see that much anymore, right? Like
Right.
it's all they go to the tournaments, they watch. You got to be at these tournaments. You got to be there. You got to represent. You don't have to be on the best team in the tournament, right? Like you don't. You just have to be at that tournament, and somebody will see you. Um, I think that's the biggest landscape change over the years, and the fact that all the changes in D1 baseball has really changed the landscape of where kids are going to go now. Like, do you go to a JUCO? Do you go to a D2? Are there D2s out there now that will help you get to a D1? Right? Like there are D2s out there that say come here for 2 years, and you can use it as a JUCO, and if you play really well, we'll help you go to a D1. So the landscape has changed tremendously, especially in the last couple years. But since we've joined Prime, it's really changed in the fact that kids are getting opportunities, kids are getting exposure. Our job is to give kids exposure. Our job is to help kids go play college baseball. Yes, I love winning tournaments. I really do. I love winning. But man, do I love when one of my players commits and one of my players has an opportunity to go play at the next level. Which, to be honest, I'm going to tell you this: if you want to play at the next level, there is a place for you, and we will find it. You might not be going to your number one, number two, number three, or even number four choice, but if you want to play college baseball, you can. So that's really
No,
that's really how it's changed over the years.
yeah, I completely agree with you. I think a big thing that we always strive on is, development, development, development. And then once we get to that high school level, it's, hey, what can we do to get you to the next level? And I agree with you. There is a spot for everybody out there. There are so many colleges that, you know, as long as you want to play, man, and you want to work hard, like there's a spot for you, right? I
Yeah,
think we all agree on that.
yeah. Obviously, you got to have good grades. You got to be a good young man, which is what we always preach anyway, right? Like I think that
Right.
that's really important. I think that you know representing yourself and representing your family in a way that a coach goes, you know what, I can take a chance on you. That's important. And I think um, you're right. Development when you're young, development, 15, 16, still develop, but start to think about college, right?
100%.
Start to look at what you want to do, start to understand the landscape, start to understand what player you are and where you belong. Because I think that's a big problem in our high school divisions is understanding exactly where you fit in, right?
Right.
And understanding where you're going to fit in at the next level. I think it's very difficult for a kid to really self-evaluate. And I think if parents would allow coaches to evaluate their kid and give them an honest answer to, hey, this is where your kid belongs in the landscape of college baseball. Maybe he doesn't want to do that because he wants to go to Texas A&M, like Lash Henderson is there, right? Like Lash Henderson just committed to Texas A&M.
Yep.
One of my former players on the national team, and
Stud,
one of
by
my
the way. Stud.
one of stud, one of my favorite players, one of the hardest working young men. If you look at videos of Lash Henderson, he's in the gym, in the lab, in like working every single day on his craft, right? Like I don't know if players in our parts of the country, yours and mine, understand that level of dedication, right? That it takes to get to the level that Lash is at, right? Or some of the other guys on the national program. I think that it's important for parents to understand where their kid fits in. I tell parents all the time, we need to find a home for your son that if he didn't have baseball, he'd still want to be at that school.
Yo,
And
100%.
that's really important. I'll never forget. I sent a kid to Rose Holman, which is a engineering school in Indiana, and he really wanted to be an engineer, right? And
Right.
he got to that school. He got, I mean, he earned it. But he went there. He got hurt before his freshman year even started, like
Wow.
hurt, like he could never play again.
Mm.
Well, he just graduated from there, and he's making a lot more money than I am. So,
Right.
you're right. So that those are success stories. Those are the things that I really love about what we do and who we are and why we do what we do. So, and I know you feel the same way.
No, 100%. And I think, that's what makes USA Prime different than, quite frankly, any other organization. Like, I think we're thinking above and beyond what's best for these kids, and kind of going in with that, obviously development and culture. You guys are very well known in Colorado, as far as a approach to development. What is kind of your philosophy when it comes to development?
Well, it's getting better and better. You know, the facility that I was in, we were kind of a bare bones facility. You know, and we just get in there and get your work in, and we have instructors that'll teach, and we'll teach you the game. We'll teach you how to play the game. We'll teach you how to act on the field. We'll teach you all those things. Now we're getting into a partnership with the Next Era Performance, and
Hmm.
we're going into a facility that's going to be 27,000 square feet, and we'll have every development situation you could even imagine, and every thing partnering with them that will allow our kids to develop and get stronger and know where they are within their development plan
Hmm.
throughout. And I think that that's really important. You know, I tell people this all the time. I talk to people all the time about this. I'm 57 years old, right? Getting ready to turn 58. The technology part of this game, it's not it's not difficult for me, but it is something that I'm not used to. Right, like you
Right.
young puppies, you guys all grew up with it and starting to understand it and get it. But I have people now around me. My father taught me at a young age: surround yourself with people that know more than you, and you'll be successful. And I have definitely done that by partnering with Next Era Performance and here in Colorado, and allowing them to show our kids where they are on a development stage. I mean, we'll have full weight room, full performance center, motion capture, uh, every imaginable thing that you need that a college would want, we have. So we would have it all at our fingertips. Um, our recruiting coordinator, Eddie Williams, is going to be just unbelievable with our kids, helping them go play college baseball. It's a tremendous um, atmosphere that we're creating for kids. They work with about 100. Next Era works with about 150 professional baseball players in the off season, including guys
Wow.
like Kevin Gosman. So, you
Hmm.
know, who is from Colorado, by the way. Yeah,
Did not know that. There we
yeah,
go.
he's from Grandview High School. So, uh, you know, that's what we're pushing, and that's the development we're getting to. Our young players are going to learn how to move their body the right way and how to take care of their body at a young age. And I think you're going to see USA Prime start to really get to that next level, when it comes to the development side of the game. And we were good at it already, but we're going to become great at it, which I really am excited about.
Yeah, and I feel like, going off of that, I think that's a big reason what separates, you guys from other programs, quite frankly, in your region or across the country, right? Like, I think we're moving into a place where USA Prime is where you want to be at,
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's where we're heading. Um, you know, learning along the way has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Like I said, 57 years old, getting ready to turn 58. Now, I learned something every day about how to do
hmm
this, right? And if you're not learning and you're staying stagnant, then what are you doing? So, um, I think our kids are going to get the opportunity to really develop and become great. And not just because they're great athletes and great baseball players, but also because they're putting the work on their body, they're putting the work on their arm care, their prevent injury prevention. All those things are really important, because as well as I do, that you're one injury away from being, kind of pushed back and forgotten about, because that college baseball, it is a business. And I've seen too
100%.
many guys get hurt going into their senior year and then end up not playing where they had a chance to play. So, the goal is to just continue to grow our players to the best of our ability and have them understand, hey, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that's kind of where we're at.
I love that, man. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. And like I said, I'm excited to kind of see where you guys grow from here, 2-3 years down the road. I'm super excited for that.
I'm fired up more than I've ever been in my, all the years. I mean, I'm pretty much fired up as much as I was the day I signed my contract with Prime, because I was pretty fired up that day too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All right. So more on a personal side. All right.
yeah.
What's been the most rewarding part for you personally about being part of USA Prime?
Well, watching young men achieve their goals, like, I mean, I just sent a text off to a player, Samir Foster, who just committed to LSU. I was lucky enough to be his coach on his first Prime national team at 14
Mm,
years old. Um, what a tremendous young man. The relationships that I've built with these young men that I got to coach. I mean, I talked to Lash Henderson probably a couple weeks. I talked to Jordan Griffin probably every week. I talked to Chase Fuller a lot. I talked to Samir Foster a lot. Landon Green's parents and I, these are young men that are probably going to be professional baseball players one day. And I've had the opportunity to coach them and be with them. Mark Nellis, I was very lucky to get an opportunity to coach at the national program for a couple years, and really, like, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much I enjoyed that. But what I realized was I needed to be home in Colorado. I
right.
needed to be running this. I need to be here, and that's why I stopped doing that. But it has been the relationship part. I mean, I have young men now coaching for me that played for me, here in Colorado, that are now coaching at Prime. So it's a big
Love that.
family here. It is we have guys, I mean, I can't say enough. One of our coaches, Nick Sanders, who's been with me since they were 13. He's going to be coaching our top 18U team, and just like this next summer, our top 17U team, excuse me, this next summer. And he's been loyal, and the relationships built with him and his group of kids. And it's just, that's the biggest thing, man. It's just the relationship part of it. This is why we coach. Like,
Right.
I say this all the time. I can't do anything else now. Like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't do anything else, because I would miss those relationships so much that it would just kill me.
Hmm.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't talk to a player about his future, which is really huge for me in mentoring young men. And now with the combination of the Marucci recruits coming in with Prime over the next next summer with our high school group, and then the following spring with our youth, it's even going to be better, because those are great baseball people that are coming into our organization, and we're going to have a chance to build it along the next era and build it into something really special here in Colorado. And I'm looking forward to just all the relationships that I'm going to be able to build with that group as well.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. I think a lot of the stuff that we do, I feel like we get a bad narrative of, hey, we just want teams, teams, teams. Like that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to
Well,
grow. We're trying to, you know, put kids in situations to have the prime experience, right?
yeah,
I
and be
think our slogan,
successful in life.
right?
Like, the key is be successful in life. I mean, we all know what the percentages are for these guys to go play, big time college baseball, and especially
Hmm.
pro baseball. We know what the percentages are, but the success, the things that baseball teaches you on and off the field will allow them to be successful in life. And that's the number one thing that any organization should be trying to do. Granted, it's a nice feather in our cap when a guy goes and commits, right? Like, it's a
Right.
really, but I really get frustrated when people take credit for it.
Yep.
Like, I didn't get that kid a scholarship. That kid got his scholarship because of the work he put in. And the
Hmm.
reason he's going to be successful is because of the work he put in. And it drives me insane when I see that. And so, like, for me, I think it's got to be the relationship side of this, and building those relationships with people. And if you don't build those relationships and you don't build a true foundation of relationships, I think your organization is going to be in trouble.
100%. And, kind of going into that, let's say I'm little Johnny Smith. Johnny Smith's coming over to USA Prime, Colorado. What's the advice that you can give little Johnny?
I tell little Johnny all the time, baseball is an everyday thing. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to play a game. You don't have to be, you don't have to be on the field, but it's an everyday thing, whether it's watching the Yankee game last night, right? Watching the game and trying to learn why a pitcher throws a pitch in a certain situation, or why a defense is playing a certain way, right? To be honest, I tell them to watch college baseball more than pro, because I think college baseball is really, really fun to watch, and really you can learn so much about the game. But I tell them it's an everyday thing. Go out and take 25 dry swings in the yard, right? Do that every day, right? Like, have a plan for your future. And I think the biggest part of that is, like, complacency with our kids these days is they've got a lot. They have social media, they have TV, they have girlfriends, they have this, they have school, they have that, they have, find that 30 minutes a day that you are concentrating on the sport that you love and the goal that you have, and make sure that you spend that 30 minutes a day, whether it's in hitting or at home watching a game, or just doing your balance point, working on your balance point for pitching, right? Like, all of those things are things that I tell kids is, it's just like, it's an everyday thing.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not
you got to be invested, right?
it's not a part-time gig, man. If you want to be successful, it is an every single day I'm doing something with the sport of baseball. I'm doing that as a coach.
Right.
Whether I'm, like, reading something online and learning about that, or I'm trying to learn a new technology, or whatever it is, like, you have to be able to invest in the sport that you love to get the results that you want. And I said it earlier in the already, but the harder you work, the luckier you get. Like, I truly believe that. Like,
Yeah.
you have to work hard at this if you want to be successful at it, because it's not easy.
No, I completely agree. And,
Yeah.
I think there's a big thing, there's a lot to be said for everyone taking accountability, right? And I think that, we all take accountability to that. We all need to understand, hey, if your heart's in this thing, we got the right tools and resources to get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
I know our new slogan this year is Prime on Top.
Yep.
I love that slogan. It's not like a showboat type of thing. I like the way that we do things. I think we're moving in a great direction, and I want to build those connections. You're in the same boat as me. So I guess, hey, Prime on Top, what does that mean to you?
Prime on Top means doing the most for our players and making sure that our players get the most out of us. That's what it means to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna win. Our national programs are they're gonna win. Like, they're.
Yep.
I mean, I don't. You saw the graphic. I think the graphic's unbelievable. From 12 years old on up, we have a team in the top 5 in the country in every division. So,
Unheard of.
like, unheard of. Like, that's incredible, right? So, for me, doing the most for our players is Prime on Top. Having our players get the most out of us as a organization is Prime on Top. It doesn't mean winning every tournament, right? I tell our youth, I couldn't care less if you win. I want you to be competitive. I want you to get after it. I want you to play your heart out. I want you to be better at the end of the spring, summer than you were at the beginning. Those are the only things I want out of you as a player. And
No, I completely agree.
and you as a player should want us to give our best for you at all times, on and off the field.
Completely agree.
That's really what Prime on Top means.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, our listeners out there, Scott, this has been awesome. I appreciate you kind of giving us your story, kind of getting into the glimpse of USA Prime Colorado. Really, really appreciate it. To all of our listeners, we appreciate you kind of tuning into everything USA Prime. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. USA Prime Colorado on all social media platforms. You can find their address www.coloradousaprime.com. You can also find other information on usaprimesports.com. This will be live on YouTube. We have all social media accounts. This will be our national platform. But again, make sure that you guys check out Colorado. And Scott, again, I appreciate everything that you've done for us. We are excited for the future of Colorado in that area. And that's that, baby.
Well, I thank you for your time, man. I thank you for the opportunity to talk about USA Prime Colorado. I just can't wait to see all the other guys on here and what they have to say. And one thing about us, and I'll say this to just kind of finish up for us. One thing about us is one of the great things about USA Prime is having teams all over the country for recruiting. So if I have a kid who's interested in the University of Michigan or interested in the University Eastern Michigan, where I went to school, I can call you and you can help me with that, and vice versa. It's a tremendous network of men that care about kids and want to help kids get to the next level. So thank you for the opportunity.